Okay, I can't get rid of... Oh, wait, can I get rid of the ads? I can get rid of that one.
Let's go.
We've won the war.
Can't wait to get demonetized for this.
I'll probably just blur the ads.
Let's see. Where is Season 1, Episode 1?
They're all in order here.
Oh, okay. I was reading the wrong episode. I read Tourist Trap as Season 1, Episode 13.
No. Okay, so I guess we'll just go in order.
Alright, where's the Stand Wrong song?
Jazzier!
Hey, give me that! Oh, my back!
What do you think? Take 30!
Oh.
No, I didn't set this up, but if you want to know, the Stand Wrong song would be S tier.
Yes, actually it would be SSS because it's
you're right.
It's the best out of all of them.
It would be the highest
Tourist Trap. Well, Tourist Trap.
This is actually here. I'm not gonna put it in a spot that I think it's deserving of. I'm just putting it into that it's on the list right now, okay?
Let's see. Tourist Trap.
This, as far as pilots go, this is actually a pretty good pilot episode.
Yeah, this is honestly one of the best pilots I've ever seen, excluding, not corporate made, but,
And you know, it's ironic because like the next episode and the 2 episodes after that is they're much weaker.
Yeah.
Once again, none of them are bad. All the episodes of the show are good. So when we say an
which is
episode
exactly
bad,
why
we just mean
it'll
how
be
it-
the hardest is putting it in E and F tier because everything's good.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how good is it.
Yeah. So basically, it's this ranges from like amazing, really, really good to it's good. You know,
Well, I'd say F is more like it's okay.
Okay.
But I'd say Tourist Trapped would either be B or C tier because it sets up the premise excellently.
And it also keeps viewer ambition up because it reveals that Stan has something that he's keeping a secret this whole time.
Yep. Which is really good. And also, I like how it introduces the characters in a way that really fits them, and I guess really gives them room to grow.
Also, the gnomes are great.
Yeah, especially Smebiolok.
Smebiolok. Is that the only thing you can say?
Smebiolok. Yeah, I love that guy. And you know what's canonical that he was cursed, right?
Yes.
But anyway, I say he should be in B tier. Or this should be in B tier.
I think B tier is a good one for this. Should we go into? No, we should go into depth with these episodes. Do you agree?
Well, to be fair, we only have.
Well, this is the first episode, so we don't have too much to say about it. You know?
Let's see. Number 2, episode 2.
This I'd say is one of the weaker ones.
Yeah, that's honestly C or D tier.
It does have. Her aim is getting better, though.
Her aim is getting better.
But just one joke can't save an episode.
I guess, yeah. Honestly, I'd put that in D tier purely because it's not. It just doesn't have the same, I guess, feel about it.
As Tourist Trap.
Don't worry. It's a really great way to show a major character, especially late, like story wise, which would be
Megaka.
Yeah, Megaka.
Just as a second episode, it feels kind of weird.
Oh yeah, also spoilers ahead. For funsies.
It feels kind of weird though, especially it's the second episode in a show that like has a journal of monsters and stuff, to have the second thing be a Scooby-Doo fake out.
Yeah, and then I guess the only real saving grace is that at the very bottom there was the actual Gobblewalker.
Yeah,
if you remember.
But as far as the characters are in this, they're pretty good.
We're rating overall. So I'd say D. Let's go. Next.
I like how everyone is just. Sorry,
can't get too
Seuss and Mabel are reckless. Dipper is overly cautious about something that is stupid.
And Stan just likes to mess with couples.
And you like to avoid Stan.
Let's go. Episode 3. Headhunters.
This is one of the ones that improves the most upon rewatch. It was already really good. But...
Headhunters was, that was the wax one. I guess that really that's kind of the beginning, I guess. Which instead of
well,
D,
other than
it should be
other
C,
than the
because that's
vending
kind of like,
machine trap.
I guess that's kind of the beginning of, you know, what was it? Of kind of showing that Stan, you know, it's obviously very subtle, but kind of showing that Stan isn't, you know, who he seems, just like
yeah, you're
season.
supposed to. In this case, when you're watching it the first time, you're supposed to think he's just an egotist.
Yeah,
But
and then
upon rewatching it after seeing the other episodes, this is actually really tragic.
also, I think it's really cool how, I mean, Stan kind of plays off the fact that he doesn't know about the room. I don't truly believe that, because, you know, remember, he pretended that all of the things in the Gravity Falls weren't monsters, that it was all made up by Dipper and Mabel. And so I guess he doesn't know about the wax figures, because if he did, he would never let them out.
Yeah, he legitimately didn't know about this one.
It really shows that, you know, Stan wasn't the original owner of the Mystery Shack, which I love, especially looking back at
he stole the wax figures, remember? He stole the wax figures.
I'm pretty sure that was a lie, but just
literally shows it in a flashback.
Flashbacks aren't always accurate.
Well, I know they're not always accurate. Remember the one in episode 17?
Exactly. All right.
But
anyway, let's keep talking.
No, so the thing with this one is, it's great. It was already a really funny episode, but
and then Dipper's sword
foreshadowing was ingenious.
Yeah.
I think it deserves either a B or an A. What about you?
C.
C?
I'll C.
Okay.
Just because, you know, we can't give everything B tier.
Yeah, that's true. And Tourist Trapped is better than this.
Yes, exactly. The Hand That Rocks the Mabel. This is honestly
the thing about this one.
That's one of my least favorite episodes.
Yeah, I think this is the worst one.
Because it's not the worst. I'd say it's purely for the fact that it's in early. I put it in E tier. Because E or F definitely. Because not only does it kind of show just how annoying Mabel is. I hate the fact that Dipper actively will sacrifice himself for Mabel's whims.
Well, I mean, we see a more extreme version of that in episode 9.
Yeah,
and I don't mean the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, no. Anyway, it's kind of Mabel is already boy crazy, you know.
Yeah,
and then
you already knew that.
They go to the pool.
Think it serves.
I do like how it really introduces.
You're interrupting me to say exactly what I was going to say. Right? What I was about to say. I think this is a really good introduction to Gideon, though.
Yeah. That's pretty much the only point of E. There is a really cool pool episode later on.
He's a psychotic freak. And I think they
not only a psychotic. Really well. He's not only a psychotic freak. He's a psychic freak.
He himself is a psychic.
Oh yeah, but he had an amulet, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that one really old that one really old book series.
And hey, after we rank these, if we have time, we should go more into detail with these episodes.
If we can.
Yeah, once again, if we have time after ranking them.
Episode 5. The Inconveniencing. It's a good, once again, a really great introduction.
Yeah, this one's more Wendy and Robbie centered and how Dipper interacts with them.
I also really enjoy how they had the backwards message with Mabel.
Yeah.
And that whole deal.
Also, oh my god, the Lammy dance is like
that makes it A. I honestly genuinely believe that this is.
I mean, personally, this is my favorite episode, but I don't think it's the best by any means.
It's not. I'd say it's low A tier.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right place to put it.
Oh yeah, actually, since after we rank all these, we have to put them in specific order of which is the best.
Yeah,
so, you know,
we can just focus right now. We can just focus on putting them.
Which is what I'm saying. All right. Anyway, it's a really great show. Really great episode of a great show.
I just think I love it. I also really like the creative ways that they take everyone out. Like,
Yeah.
okay, just when you think that they were just
Making him a hot dog?
yeah, I was about to say that. Just when you think they're just putting people into like boxes and games and stuff. Technically, this is the first time a video game attacked anyone in the series. But
Oh yeah.
and then they make a guy into a hot dog.
And then they make a guy into a cereal and they kill him.
Yeah, no, he died. He of course
genuinely
he got
dies.
revived because the ghost let everyone go. But you know, I mean, and hey, this is. Don't worry, we'll be seeing more great episodes featuring ghosts.
And more death. A lot more death.
A lot more death.
Dipper versus manliness.
I think C, probably.
C, low C tier.
Yeah.
Just because I guess it's kind of one of the things that really, because you know, like one of the great things that makes up character development is you have to have problems. And
Yeah.
I guess Dipper's biggest issue is that he's not only physically weak, he's kind of a baby.
He's extremely insecure.
Yeah.
And in this episode, he
I guess
actually
it's also pretty
stands up for
relatable.
himself.
Yeah.
Two
And
people
it also really plays in with his insecurities, especially in future episodes,
yeah.
with like interacting with Wendy and Robbie, and even Stan, etc.
Yeah.
Which makes
the thing with this episode is he learns that being manly does not necessarily mean being the toughest or being the best.
yeah. Like it's not one of the greatest, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'll gladly rewatch any episode of the show.
Yeah. Anyway,
Now this
Double
one,
Dipper.
this one plays even more into his insecurities, and I think
Say B.
I would say A.
Mhm.
High B or
Sure.
low.
Just put it in right now, and we'll discuss it later.
Yeah, you're right.
Double Dipper kind of also shows, like I was saying, how his insecurities play in when interacting with people such as Robbie and what's her name, and Wendy. Because he's so insecure about.
I mean,
her
no,
liking
I
him,
seriously though, I
etc.
think Double Dipper deserves an A because it's not just that. It also introduces a mystery element of there's some weird stuff going on in the Mystery Shack more than just those wax figures. You know what I mean? And then
Which
also
is
it
the
introduces
printer that
Mabel's
can
friends.
make copies. Oh yeah, and not only
And
Mabel's
Pacifica.
friends, it also introduces the best girl out of the entire series, Pacifica. And I say that because she is the best. She is the not only the best, but the most character development out of pretty much every girl in the series, other than Mabel.
Yeah, but I mean Mabel's like one of the 6 main characters, so
Oh yeah,
being the 2 sets of
I'd
twins.
say
Zeus
4
and Wendy.
5 main characters, because Dipper, Mabel, Stan, Ford, and Bill. Those are the 5 main.
You said 4.
Wendy, I said 5.
You just said 4.
I said 4, no 5. I made a mistake. Anyway, next episode.
Yeah, this is one of the weakest ones, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
It's kind of like filler, honestly.
I mean, it's giving Mabel kind of a justification to herself.
It's filler of the filler.
Mabel's already been ridiculous. This one's just making sure that
Yeah.
she doesn't feel bad about it.
No,
you know?
I honestly feel like this entire episode was just because a bunch of people were hating on Mabel, and the creators were like, you know, Alex Hirsch was like, ah, damn, let's make an episode about her.
You're aware of the fact that every episode of the season of the cartoon is made at the same time, right?
Know that, but at the same point, I feel like it's just, you know,
No, I mean it does feel like
just because it's not right doesn't mean I can't.
it also
feel that way.
also it foreshadows Time Baby a little bit in one of the documents.
Oh yeah, Time Baby. But I guess that's more of a kind of an Easter egg.
No, I know it's an Easter egg. I just
Right.
thought it was cool.
Yeah, they find the 8.5 president. Wonderful.
I mean, I will say though, the cops in this episode are on point.
Yeah, this is what I said. It's a good joke episode, which saves it from F.
Yeah.
Unlike The Hand That Rocks the Mabel, which
Yeah,
is bad.
relatively.
Well, you know, bad for the show. Whenever I say bad,
But to be fair, Hand That Rocks the Mabel is a necessary episode. This is.
Yep. It's not, but it's still really funny. especially with Stan getting hit by pigs
Yeah.
or by a tomato.
I want you to say that the
Time
Northwest family is the
traveler.
best family in Gravity Falls. Okay.
No.
Okay, give me a pen. Yeah. You suck. I
Come on.
did that with my mouth.
Come on. Next.
Okay, sorry.
It's fine.
I know you don't like this one.
It's D.
I
Traveler's
think this is a good one, but
Yeah, it's C or D. Like low
So-
C.
I mean, to be fair, Dipper does not show any concern about what happens to Blended. And
No,
that
my
does-
biggest issue with the Time Traveler's Pig is that it really shows just how far Dipper will go. It kind of sets back his character because like it shows that he's
Yeah.
a total simp for Wendy, and it also shows that he pretty much
it
anytime
does
Mabel
show.
wants anything, he'll basically give up whatever he wants.
Yeah.
for
I mean, he's
Mabel.
not a complete simp. He will.
I mean, yeah, like
allow Mabel
he gave
to have
up.
what she
He
wants.
gave up like.
But
you
that
know,
is at his own expense, which is a character flaw.
Exactly. I mean, and then Mabel never even like apologizes. She's kind of like, well, that sucks, but I got my pig, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Which I hate. I really hate.
No, I get it. Here, as a compromise, I'm putting it in C. Okay.
Low C.
I mean,
Very
to be
low C.
fair, also this does lead in.
Yeah.
What Dipper did to Blended does lead into a later episode, though.
Yeah. Which was actually a really good episode.
It was a really
Anyway.
good episode.
Squid Game says nothing on that.
Squid Games has
Alright.
nothing on Guap.
Fight Fighters.
This is
Let's
an
go,
A.
baby.
This is an A.
Fight Fighters is A. Because it kind of shows, I guess it shows some of Dipper's reliance, like real reliance on.
Dipper doesn't think he can do anything without the help of others.
Exactly, which is why it makes for such great character development later on.
Yes.
I love it.
And also, it once again, reinforces Dipper and Robbie's nemesis-ing.
Hatred, insane hatred for each other. Also,
Yeah.
which episode was the one with the music?
I mean, listen, I know Time Traveler's Pig had Dipper's hatred for Robbie in it, but that was more because of Wendy being involved. This was because Dipper criticized Robbie for not being good to Wendy, and then Robbie was a dick about it.
I gotta say, it was hilarious when he was talking to Seuss about it, and Seuss was like, "Yeah, man, those teenagers, they're dangerous. My cousin got into a fight with one, and he like broke all of his arms, all of his legs, and then like killed him." Yeah, man, I was talking about
me and
it
Reggie
last
were just
week.
talking about it.
I love that. That was so good.
Yes.
All right. Anyway.
No, and
episode
let me just
11.
say as well with Fight Fighters, I think it was actually a really good way, like to pay homage with having a video game character in a cartoon world. Like they presented Rumble fantastically.
This was
You put
the
like
second,
a girl
the
who is also
second
a
point-
baby.
Yep, the second point of video game character attacking someone in the show.
Yeah, and once again, I also like how Rumble's an idiot. Video game characters, especially old ones, are not complicated.
Yeah, no, that was so good. How they actually made his character instead of like some weird sensei walking out of a video game.
He's no Master Wu. He's legitimately a psychopath.
Yeah. All right, episode 11. Let's go, baby. Little Dipper. D.
Yeah, this one's weak in my opinion. Not as much as Irrational Treasure or anything, but this one does show that Mabel has her own problems with Dipper trying to be better than everyone else.
It's exactly why I don't like Time Traveler's Pig, once again. Like, Mabel, I guess the only real point that Dipper isn't, like, he's not insecure about is his intelligence. He's really good at games, etc. And
Yes. And that leaves
That's-
Mabel being insecure about that. So she feels the need to make fun of him physically, which is also the thing he's the most insecure about, which plays into his.
I mean, not even like just physically. She straight up makes fun of him because she is like what, a millimeter taller, 3 millimeters taller than him.
Yes.
And
no, it was
I mean,
1 millimeter.
It's so stupid. But and then he was like, oh, something that he genuinely was insecure about. He was like, okay, then I'm going to use about one thing I have, my brain, to help myself.
Yes.
And then at the end of the episode, he reverts himself back because Mabel is a whiny baby about it.
Yeah. No, like once again, Mabel is probably like the most flawed character on the show.
Well, yeah. Well, other than honestly, Dipper is one of the most flawed.
But to be fair,
he's a good character. Well, in my opinion, Mabel really wasn't.
Yeah. Mabel's kind of lost on me, but I do think Dipper's flaws make him endearing.
Yeah.
Also, Gideon.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to be controversial when I say this. Gideon is the best part of this episode.
Yeah. No, entirely.
This is probably where he's at his best.
The only real Dreamscapers, that tiny bit was his best, definitely.
Fair enough.
Another really funny thing was how they kind of paid homage to this episode in the journal with the
I also
invisible
like how they
wizard.
reference it in the finale as well. Mabel smashes open the door and they escape. They try to escape using the flashlight. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So, yes.
Summerween. Oh.
Man, just say the Trickster was one of my favorite monsters from the show.
Yeah.
Like, he was legitimately creepy.
This is also almost an instance of, I guess, Gravity Falls weirdness factor, which really played in later.
Yeah. Like how the whole area is weird and has interdimensional, like, mumbo jumbo going on, making everything all convoluted and strange. And what better way to emphasize that than by having candy come to life on a holiday?
And eat people.
Yes.
It's just funny. He couldn't be eaten, so he eats others.
Yes. I don't really care about how insecure Dipper is about Wendy and Robbie in this episode. I don't think that's the main focus of it.
No. I mean, it was kind of more of a subplot.
It was kind of just their way of making him the reluctant straight man in this one.
And I guess
You know
it
what I mean?
it was kind of funny how at the end, apparently the whole thing that happened was really boring.
Yeah. I mean, to be
Right.
fair, parties with a bunch of people, they're not really my thing. I'd rather just have like 2 or 3 people at
Yeah,
once.
I'd say 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Because you don't want enough people that it's like really weird, but you also don't want too few people that's really awkward.
Yeah, I get that.
Anyway,
Anyway.
it's honestly a good show.
I think Summerween is a B.
Yeah, it's B or A, honestly.
Yeah.
Or at least it's at least high B.
I think it's a high B.
Let's go.
Boss
So far
Man.
we have no C or D.
I mean, it's C probably.
I'd say C, kind of midish, like midish C.
Yeah,
'Cause
I think this is a really funny episode.
Yeah, it doesn't
Once
really
again,
have-
it's kind of an emphasis on Mabel's flaws.
I mean,
like,
to be fair,
She does break.
she thinks that she's kind of the greatest, which really annoys me.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, why she's one of my least favorite characters in the beginning. She was one of my least favorite characters, kind of at the beginning.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I think that's the right way to put it.
It's just, I also really think it's funny how Stan has this whole thing.
Yeah, with Cash Rule.
Yep.
And Please. Still, though,
I
I do like seeing Mabel kind of get her comeuppance and actually, like, breaking down and
Yeah.
acting differently than usual.
Which
Which is why I think this episode should be mid-C.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This one's good.
It's B. It's definitely
It's
high.
a
like it's
funny
it's
enough,
below.
they're
It's
all
right
good.
behind Summerween.
It's a
Put it
high.
right next to Summerween.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like,
It's just
it's not better than
the-
Summerween. but
it doesn't have too much, I guess, story.
yeah. No, that's kind of the point of this episode, though. What it is instead of
just
being some kind of like story about everyone being an insecure person, everyone's miniature stories that they make starring themselves
it was
about
it was hilarious. I mean, like, was this the episode with Dr. Medicine?
Yes.
Dr. Medicine, Stan needs a bear to drive. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah. No, once again, everyone's stories play into their characters. Like Seuss is a gullible idiot. He likes playing the games and stuff. He doesn't want to cheat, but when he does, he can't decide whether or not to let everyone die or give up a high score. Like that's good. That's a comedy. Mabel's is about her trying to make everyone like good and stuff. That works. And Dipper's is about him trying to be cooler, you know?
Yeah.
Well, also Stan's is great. Out of the 3 stories, I'm not counting Stan's because that was a joke one. Which one of them did you like the best in this episode?
Let me see. Actually, tell me, what was your favorite?
Mine's probably voiceover.
Voiceover was...
That's the one where Dipper gets the potion, changing the way he talks.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, and as someone who does like doing voices, of course that would appeal to me.
Let's see, because I really liked all of them.
No, they're all good. I'm just saying I like voiceover the best.
Yeah.
And obviously the only one that actually happened was Mabel's, because with
Grunkle Stan wins the football bowl was my favorite, obviously.
That one's funny.
It's goated. It's wonderful.
It's
if
like
I'm
a
going,
funny 60-second gag.
If I'm going to say, like, other than that, it would probably be Toothache, just because it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, the police station. I forgot to tell them about my tax fraud.
And how they, like, in the end, they play it off by him being a writer or something.
Yeah.
Like an
author. I also like how
crime story.
I also like how it's a thing of Stan knowing about the weirdness of the town, but outwardly just completely rejecting the logic.
Yeah.
This happened to him. He knows it happened to him, but he has to deny it.
Yeah. Anyway, next episode, 15.
The deep
end. F.
You think this is an F?
Trash. This is what I said about the other one that I hated, because it is literally all just Mabel being into a guy, and then Dipper straight up has to sacrifice himself and his job.
I mean,
again,
I will say this. That's that logic. I would say this is better than the Kindergarten thing, so I'm putting it in E. But that logic is why an upcoming episode starring a certain Nacho is good, in my opinion, because it requires Mabel to be the one doing the sacrifice.
No, she doesn't ever sacrifice anything though. Up until like season 2.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I meant the one in season 2. Okay.
All right. It's I don't even want to go into it. It's just bad. Basically, Mabel meets a mermaid, and then Mabel forces Dipper to give up his job to save said mermaid.
Yeah, but it all works out in the end because Wendy also got fired.
Yep.
And everyone lived happily ever after.
Except Dipper, who had to kiss a guy.
That's true. Carpet Diem. Now here's the thing about this episode. First off, before you say anything, I know a lot of people criticize it for being a bad body swap episode, to which it is, but I don't think that's the point. The point is more about Mabel
it's kind of like
Dipper
Double
competing.
Dipper. It's kind of like Double Dipper as well. So it's not only them competing,
but it's all. But instead of just being them competing, it ends up switching to being, instead of them trying to be better than the other, it's them trying to sabotage the other person.
Yeah, which I'd say it's high D or really low C, just because the only real, I guess, really cool, interesting part about that
is the
was
lore
fact
reveal involving the room.
yeah.
Like, okay, it shows that it tells you that not only does it continue what Double Dipper did by showing that there's some weird technology in the Mystery Shack, but it's also showing that something went down 30 years ago that led to this room not being discovered.
Which makes it a really good episode.
I mean, yeah, I say that this episode is more interesting because of the lore reveals than the actual episode, but
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
alright.
that's not to say the actual episode is bad.
Season 17 or episode 17. Boy, crazy.
This one probably has the funniest concept in my opinion.
Yes. I guess it's also another. It's really weird because it's kind of showing that.
Well, this one actually allows Mabel to be in Prague.
Yeah, and also it doesn't really matter where in Gravity Falls it is because everything's just,
Yeah.
weird.
No, I do. No, once again, in my opinion, as far as the episodes of the show go, this one has by far the funniest concept, being that boy bands are literally just clones of each other.
Yeah, which can totally seems accurate. Just look at like BTS; they're literally the exact same guy with a different hairstyle.
No, like I know there's a meme where it's like K-pop fans be like, which one's the cutest, and they're all the same. I don't mean that as a racist joke, by the way.
Yeah, I remember I went to a Japanese restaurant, and like my waiter was. I mean, I thought he was really racist because he took our food to another white family. And I was like, bro, you must think all white people look the exact same. Turns out it wasn't my waiter.
Okay, that's actually hilarious.
Thank you.
That might be an offensive joke, but I don't even know if it's a joke or an actual thing that happened to you. I'm keeping that in. That's funny. But
yeah, no, it's not something that actually happened to me. I can differentiate faces pretty easily.
No, I think this is a B. I like seeing them try to teach them to be human and then miserably failing at it. Them letting them go into the wild even though they're not ready at all,
My favorite
My
favorite part was the fact that they
call out
raid
Mabel for
trash.
shit.
Oh yeah. Anyway, season 18. Episode 18. Why do I keep
from my awareness, this is one of your favorite episodes. I think it's a good
Yes. What?
Oh no! Remember, I'm just putting them on the list. I'm not
high B, low A.
Specifically before I move them.
High B, low A. I think it's low A. Because Land Before Swine is good. It really shows, I guess, how Stan isn't that terrible of a person.
Yeah, sure, he'll lie to get out of a situation, but once again, he actually cares about his relationships with his family.
Exactly. Which also, especially how deeply he cares about his relationship. I mean,
like he thinks that he's fine on his own, and then he realizes, like, no, actually, I do care about these people.
Yeah. Which I really wonder what slight foreshadowing that was.
Yeah.
All right.
Also dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
And my favorite dinosaur of all, the Rad Dogosaurus.
Oh, plus that infomercial. Does it work for pigs? Of course it works for pigs. It works for pigs!
Episode 19.
Okay, I think this is our first
S. All the way.
This is not only our introduction to Bill, but a massive hint at the journals. Like, remember, in Tourist Trapped, when he reads it, it says, I need to hide these to prevent him from finding them. And what does Journal 3 say? Bill is specifically the most dangerous thing that has ever been encountered.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that, because, Pete, I guess, meeting, like, Time Baby, and I was kind of like, oh, sure, we've met Bill and all, but this is Time Baby, the literal Lord of Time.
Well, we've already seen Time Baby.
Well, I mean, we actually got introduced.
Yeah, we saw more of him in another upcoming really good episode.
Exactly, but it's like, wow, he's the Lord of Time. He's practically a god.
Yeah, which makes it all the better when in the finale he shows up.
We'll get there when we
Bill,
get. We get
Bill
there when we get
wipes
there.
his ass.
We get there when we get there.
You know what I mean?
We get there when we.
It's like, whoa, shit! He's actually more powerful than space time.
Let's talk about that later because we get there when we get there.
Yeah. No, but as far as the actual matter of this episode is, not only is Bill like a great character who's just funny in it, despite being crazy and evil.
He's straight up disturbing, which is why I love the episode.
Yeah.
Because
it's great foreshadowing too. They go right into Stan's mind.
It's like what is it? It's like Clone Wars, like the first 3 seasons is like, oh, fun adventure. We capture some people, and then you get season 4 and it's a bunch of death. That's kind of how Gravity Falls was. And then episode 19 hit and it was like, wow, this guy is horrifying.
It's like, okay, there's actually like a massive threat with this town.
Exactly. And
once again, we don't even see how powerful Bill is until later, but he's still a threat.
Because he doesn't have a physical form.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Do you want to talk more about Bill and stuff after we rank all the episodes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Episode 20.
Gideon Rises.
I'd say that's A.
Yeah.
Honestly.
As
low A.
Yeah, low A. For the last episode of the first season, we get to see Gideon at like his most powerful. And legit, they lost the mystery shack for this.
Which it's really cool. What's the next?
Stan actually feels terrible because he has to let the twins go. It's a really good dramatic episode,
I also really like how they kind of set Gideon up in jail, which makes for way cooler plot devices later on.
Yeah, when they bring him back.
Yeah. And with
don't worry, this isn't the last episode. Gideon plays a big part.
Yep.
Despite being arrested. Also, enough Blendon appears in this as well.
Yep. Season 1, episode 1.
Scarioki. The episode that parodied Bon Jovi.
Oh, girls do what we like.
Either high B or really low A. Because it's such a good
This
episode.
is a reveal. This
really
changes the dynamic of the show.
It shows that Stan, don't get me wrong, it was kind of obvious that he knew about it, especially after Dreamscapers, but it really shows that he not only genuinely cares about his family, that he knew everything that transpired.
Yeah.
Like, literally everything.
And remember, he's already shown to be a con man and even lying to them, but still, obviously he had to because they were all threats here, but should we mention, before we continue on Scarioki, we should talk about the end of Gideon Rises where Stan gets the journal.
Oh yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yep, Stan gets the journal.
Obviously something was already up with Stan, and what's cool actually about this? Season 1 was more of a setup to season 2 than anything, being more episodic and all, but it left enough details for you to figure out the whole thing with Stan in just season 1 alone.
Well, you'd have to be like game theory, kind of intelligent.
Yeah. No, he has the 3 journals, he's building something, he's keeping it a secret. We know that he's building the glowing Also, another reason why the deep end is low is because Wax Stan dies again. But once again, it actually, if you pay enough attention, you might realize his insecurity regarding Wax Stan. You might think, wait a second, what if he knows someone, and this reminds him of that person instead of him just being an egotist?
You would have to rewatch the entire thing just to know that after like half of season 2 though. But
after season 2, that's when they reveal forward.
Yeah.
Well, not half.
They're
season 2, slightly.
Anyway, let's go episode 2 because we've talked a fair amount about Scarioki. Well, not about Scarioki, but it's a really great episode. It also shows Dipper, I guess becoming cooler since he summons a bunch of zombies.
Yeah, and it also introduces us to the fact that government agents are watching after what happened after Stan tested the portal.
Yep.
You're like, wait, something's going on in this town. So that foreshadows a threat that we'll see later.
Season 2, episode 2.
Also, once again, karaoke, yeah. They have a whole dynamic where they sing a song together. That's nice and all. Whatever.
That's wonderful.
Okay, bro.
Into the Bunker is either high. It's really high A. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's
either
it's
S
almost
or really
it's,
high.
It's almost close to A or to S, just because it's genuinely so good.
And even for a show that mostly wants to be watched by like children and stuff, or like people who just really like analyzing things, this
It was
was
horrifying.
legitimately a horrific episode.
I mean, not only does it have a shapeshifter, at the very end of the episode, the dude literally says, "You're going to die like this."
This will be the last form you ever take. Good luck sleeping tonight.
And then-
and he actually does.
Which, well, he didn't. I guess he didn't really die, because
Well, I guess
it was sort of
trees are
it was a
alive.
pseudo death almost.
We
But
said
it was
this is
so
the last movie we'll ever make.
it was horrific.
This is probably the best horror we ever see in the show.
Hmm?
Horror.
Oh yeah, the best horror, definitely. And not only that, it also
It's
it
tense.
really plays into the whole feel of like who is the author.
Yes.
Because I guess it was sort of like a really fun,
I
funny.
mean, there were already seven. No, once again, he knows that the author was doing something important too. We see the steps they took to secure their lab, and it also introduces us to the lab code. I mean, not lab code. Lab. How did I say lab code? I meant laptop.
The lab what?
I know. I just had a complete and utter failure with my brain. It introduces us to the laptop, which will be important.
The laptop, property of F, which is really cool.
That was also genius.
Let's see. Especially because, no character that we had known at the time, had any F, because we didn't know that Old Man McGucket's first name was Fiddleford.
Coincidentally enough, he shares the same last 4 letters of his first name with his friend.
Let's go. Season 2, episode 3.
Okay, can we just give this a good score? I mean, I know it's unimportant, but it's really
I love Gulf War, honestly. Gulf War is high B, like before summer.
Oh yeah.
Before summer.
I'm gonna compliment Carpet Diem in this. It actually foreshadows that Mabel is good at golf.
Alright. I'd
That's
say
like one.
it's
That's
either
like the one other
between
thing.
it's between Karaoke and Summerween or before Summerween. It's not that good.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I said, Best Girl. It introduces the Best Girl, which I'd say between.
Well, I mean, it didn't introduce her, but it does. It does.
It gives us
characterize her.
more like she's not. Because I guess what we saw was Pacifica Northwest, not Pacifica. If you
Not
understand.
the actual Pacifica.
Exactly, because she's not a terrible person, especially, and this really complements on the upcoming Northwest Manor. All right, season 4.
Don't
or
worry.
season 2,
You know where
episode
we're
4.
putting Northwest Manor.
Well, yes, obviously. If we don't put it there, I'm gonna kill you.
If we don't put it there, we failed as fans of the show.
All right, come on.
Also, with the Gulf War,
Let's go.
that scene with Big Henry, that was.
I love that. That was so good.
That was amazing.
Big Henry dies. It's very sad.
And,
All right,
and it's even
season
sadder
2,
when you realize
episode
he
3.
died for nothing. It's amazing how the writers on the show are so good. They make you feel bad about the death of a character who you've seen for less than a minute.
Yeah. All right, come on. Episode 4, baby.
Sock opera.
See,
Yeah, I mean it's not great.
it
I
really
still think
shows.
it's good.
I guess it also really shows. Well, I'd say it's
I
high
do.
C.
One of
It's
my
above
highest
Headhunters.
compliments. One of my
It's
highest
above
compliments this
Headhunters.
episode though is it actually has Mabel have to save Dipper.
Well, I guess the reason I'd say it's C, or it's a really good C, is just because like it once again shows. I'd put it higher. It's like top C, because it really shows how Dipper is willing to do like practically everything for Mabel.
Yes. And now we need Mabel to do something for Dipper.
Exactly. But it was also incredibly horrific.
May I say, once again, every time Bill is on screen, he's on point.
Yeah. But
they did give us this
just how
cursed
good the
shot,
Reddit
which
stuff.
gave the fandom
Put it
years
higher.
of stuff.
Higher. Between Boss Mabel. It's above Boss Mabel.
Yeah, it's not as good
You
as
may not have to put it above Headhunters, but it's above Boss Mabel. Alright, Season 2, Episode 5.
I can't believe it. Gravity Falls predicted FNAF.
Well, anyway, actually FNAF was out at this time. Doesn't matter.
It's not the focus, but it is a nice detail. Also,
It's really funny.
Well, I mean, with Stan, it is the focus. I just say this.
I'd put it. It's.
I'm not going to go over the details in this video. I'll probably just put a list of weird coincidences. But Gravity Falls not only predicted FNAF, but has a bunch of ridiculous similarities with it, like to a concerning point. Anyway, let's talk about the actual episode.
Worst
I like
girl.
it.
It really characterizes on Seuss.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Which is something we haven't seen before.
He was always seen as just a weird man baby, in my opinion.
Yeah, and this is the first centered episode.
Yeah, it's really good. I still think it's C, just because
Yeah, I'm gonna put it above Sock Opera.
Is it really though?
I don't know. That's kind of hard to judge. Once again, the hardest part of this is going to be choosing what we put lower.
Exactly.
Little gift shop before. You don't mind me putting this low, do you?
What? Like I said, I'm not at my computer. I'm getting my food right now.
Oh, sorry. I'll wait for you to come back.
It's fine. Just keep talking with me about.
Okay. The thing about Little Gift Shop of Horrors is it's
filler. It's all filler.
It's
Not
a
only
worse
that-
bottomless pit.
And I wouldn't say it's because it's not bad.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Sorry.
I will say one thing.
Bottomless
I
pit
don't
is
know
better,
if it's
though.
canon or not, but I'm pretty sure that Stan didn't actually kidnap that guy. I'm pretty sure that's just a joke.
Yeah. What was
Because
up
while
with that anyway?
he is quite obviously a terrible person.
Yeah, but
he
we
would not
don't
kidnap
we don't need to show Stan being that.
Exactly.
We've already
he would
seen him
not
be a
kidnap.
con man for the entire show.
Which is why I personally believe that that's a joke.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
or the person.
to be fair, they never mentioned that he kidnapped someone ever again. So obviously,
Exactly. Which is why I think
either he let
it's
the
a
guy
joke.
go, and the Society of the Blind Eye took care of it, or maybe the cops.
That would
did.
make more sense. But at the same point, well, I mean, when are the two
Oh, is Society of the
bumbling
Blind Eye
idiots
the next episode? It is. I don't think anyone's gonna care about us just skipping to this one. This is a massive lore reveal.
Yeah.
Like, this episode is one of the biggest lore reveals in the entire series. It's about Fiddle Ford.
Oh,
is
I thought you said
actually
we
not
did
a
this.
joke
Like,
character. He has extreme significance.
exactly. And I think the most fun, or the funniest part about it was the fact that even like Dipper played him off as just a crackpot.
Yeah.
When he was so important.
And then when he realizes his importance, he actually tries to figure out as well. He's like, wait,
Yeah.
what's going on with me? I think we put this either low A or high B. You agree?
Low A.
Yeah. Also, the mind eraser thing that becomes important too. Well, I mean, it already was.
Another really big portion is kind of, I guess it's kind of the descent of like into madness.
Yeah.
Really makes you feel for McGucket.
He was so scarred that by what he saw in the portal, he even remembers Bill to some degree. Like when they go through his memories, he legitimately makes the Bill symbol.
Yeah.
Which makes it even sadder with him. He's a tragic character because even though he went through all this effort to regain his innocence, he still was unable to get Bill out of his mind.
I'd say it's now. I just burned myself. I really like.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I also really think it's great that Because, you might watch the episode and go like, okay, he knows he regained his memories, and especially as he goes on, he regains his memories. But he never went to see Stan, because it's not because he doesn't know that Stan isn't Ford, it's because he's so scarred.
Yeah, he's
or at least that's how I take it, because he's just.
Well, no, I get what you mean. With the laptop and everything, he should have some. As soon as he figures that out, which he does in season 2, episode 10, that he should be able to know most of what's going on.
Yeah, but he never went to see Stan.
Yeah, I mean, it did take him a while to figure out the laptop.
He would have remembered if he can remember the laptop, in my opinion, and he knows sort of.
No, but that's actually really smart. I never thought about that. He would know that it's a different Stan.
Yeah, I guess you never see Stan and McGucket interact.
Do you never see them interact? I need to think about that. I don't know if we've never seen them interact before.
We've never seen them interact before, or after this, until
the finale.
Yeah, the finale.
The closest thing we get to that is the credits thing in Sock Opera, but that's not even really them. That's just a dream Mabel's having.
Exactly. Anyway, season 2, episode 8.
Blendon's Game.
This was pretty good.
This was really good.
I'd say it's B. It's definitely that's honestly really. It's definitely above. No. It is not above Golf Club. It is not above Golf Club.
It's above Bottomless Pit.
It is not. It's above. It's above Dipper.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing with Blendon's Game. They actually have a repercussion for what they did in Time Traveler's Pig. And not only that, but they also go to characterize Seuss more. This is another, not Seuss-centered episode, but this is an episode where Seuss is important.
Which is really cool, because we don't get a lot of those.
And so we get to see like a whole future gauntlet that they fight. And that, like, first of all, may I just say that was really cool. And I know it wasn't the focus. Also, when you think about it, Blendon was technically the biggest threat to them that they saw in the entire show. To the twins.
What was?
Blendon was technically the biggest threat to the twins.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he won.
At that point.
Yeah, at that point. I mean, listen, we know Bill is a more powerful entity and bigger threat to the general world, but technically, Blendon would have been more catastrophic to them.
One of my favorite parts about this episode is the whole time wish thing could have genuinely changed the show, but then the writers,
and because they give it to Seuss, it's hilarious.
They found such a genius way to make sure that
that something overpowered didn't happen.
Exactly.
And that's by giving it to Seuss, because they think, hey, you know what? Seuss had a bad childhood. We should allow him to fix this. So then they give it to Seuss, and Seuss is like, you know what? Actually, my dad never cared about me, so I don't care about him anymore. I'm just gonna get this infinite slice of pizza and also heal you in the women's spot.
I personally think he should have an infinite pizza and an infinite drink, but
yeah,
whatever. Anyway. Season 2 episode...
No, it's funny. The Time Wish is such a broken concept, and they dealt with it beautifully.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, let's have something insignificant happen with instead of having Dipper use it, and you're like, okay, kill Bill Cipher. You know?
Yeah. Next episode.
The Love God.
The Love God. E or F.
Yeah.
I'd say, honestly, it's kind of F.
Yeah, I'll put it there. It's not as bad as The Hand That Rocks the Mabel, but...
Well, yeah, but...
Robbie as a character didn't need to change, in my opinion.
Not only that, I mean, I think the only way that they could have made Robbie different is by using his parents.
Yeah, I would have preferred that. Like, I would have... No, you know what would have actually been nice as well? If... I mean, it's also a thing of Mabel trying to fix something that she did, but she shouldn't have tried to fix it anyway because it made everyone better. But
my biggest problem,
if they were to do that, don't you think it would have been better if she unloved them, but it didn't matter?
Yeah. Well,
because the whole thing is because like imagine if they had already liked each other, but they
also
were just trying to
Snatcher
be standoffish. You know?
Snatcher is confirmed to be a couple.
Yes.
I don't remember what it was in, but anyway. My biggest issue with Love God was that it's another point of Mabel having to get her way.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of like
That
don't get
being
me
said,
wrong, there's-
her getting her way in this actually led to good results. But
Well,
still,
but at the
she
same
was being
point-
a manipulative person in this.
and she also stole.
She
you know,
also
she's-
she just kind of stalked Robbie actually.
she's also kind of a hypocrite because she was like, "Oh, I want Stan to be good," and then she stole the Love God's potions. She misused
Did you say
them.
she wants Stan to be good? Are you talking about Bottomless Pit with that one?
Yeah, you know, she wanted like not only that.
Oh yeah,
I guess
when she saw how disastrous the teeth were, and yet she didn't stay away from mind-altering objects.
exactly.
I just
Yeah,
realized.
it was just
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
In 2 cases, we went from 2 of the worst episodes of the show to 2 of the best episodes of the show.
Yep. All right. Definitely.
Also, hilariously,
it's
both
above.
sets
It's
involve
honestly
Robbie
above
in some way.
Dreamscapers. It's above Dreamscapers in my opinion.
Yeah, this
It
is
was-
this should. I mean, it's not the best, but it should probably be like second.
It's in my opinion. That is my favorite out of every single one. It is my favorite episode.
You know, I wanted to say really as a question, not as like a mockery or anything, but no, I get it. It's undoubtedly one of the best episodes.
It's so good. I mean, it finally shows Dipper.
It finally gets to the extent of Pacifica's character arc.
Not only that, it finally shows Dipper being, I guess,
He actually feels good about himself here.
like he wasn't, I guess, a complete loser. You know.
Yeah, no, he handled the situation masterfully.
I also, yeah, I love the fact that, and like we said, and when it comes to season 2, episode 3, it really brings the point of Pacifica Northwest is not Pacifica. I mean, she's just
She's acting because her parents want her to.
exactly. I mean, she's not a terrible person. That's how she was raised.
She wants to be a
That's how
normal
she-
person.
Practically, yeah, it's how she pretty much has to act. And
I
which
think, well, once
kinda
again,
sucks since
similarly
she's like
to
12.
the case with Sock Opera, this did give the fandom a favorite ship.
Well,
Although to be fair, unlike with Bill and Dipper, this one actually feels deserved.
well, Bill and Dipper is terrible shit. It's
I agree.
horrifying.
It's a disturbing idea.
Not as horrifying as when people ship Mabel and Dipper. That's disgusting. They're twins.
Ugh.
Anyway, but yeah.
No, but
no,
once
it's
again,
such a-
this also the ghost is
Murder.
The ghost is legit intimidating.
my favorite is murder. Like when he, you know, it's don't like they obviously don't show
The
on-screen
inconvenience,
death.
like the inconveniencing was our introduction to Ghost. This Ghost is also really strong.
That was horrifying. Genuinely.
But the thing with this one is they actually legitimately make it terrifying.
Because don't get
Plus
me
they
wrong,
have that
Into the
thing-
Bunker.
they have
Into
that
the Bunker
dramatic end.
was the first attempt at kind of, you know, the real horror cartoon show
Yeah.
or cartoon episode. Northwest Mansion was personally the best attempt or the best like point of horror. He's like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
get-
the finale's really scary and all.
No, like
But
I
guess
think
it's
I think Into the Bunker was the scariest episode. If this one also did horror masterfully.
Because like Into the Bunker was definitely, you know, it was scary because it had the whole, you know, axe. There was the axe fight, and then there
No,
was
and
the
legit,
whole,
Into the Bunker had a monster that you cannot tell if it's
exactly,
an actual
it was
what
like,
it is,
was like
where
the
it
thing,
is,
but Gravity
who
Falls.
it is.
But mine, because
this
thing that really
guy,
got me-
this
the
guy
thing that
not only
really got me with Northwest Mansion was
Yeah.
that he shows up with an axe in his head. He not only, I'm pretty sure he shows up as a skeleton and then
He does.
literally constructs himself. They practically show his death. They show a bunch of people's death and kind of
this is probably the most brutal the show gets to.
which is why I think it was the best horror.
It was
and, you know,
it's one of the most effective episodes.
and especially because Dipper practically died. I mean, like,
yeah,
let's
once again, Into the Bunker was foreshadowing this.
I mean, Dipper, like, literally,
He died.
he died. Like,
They all died.
And then that
and
really
it was up
is
to
why it
Pacifica
brings.
to actually make the choice that saved everyone.
Yeah. Also, like,
And what was also great about that was, in doing so, she stood up to her parents.
yeah, and like I said, Dipper being his whole, not really weak, which I guess kind of showed off in Gideon Rises, but not as much as in Northwest Mansion.
Yeah.
But,
well, and also he's seen ghosts before. He knows that you either have to get rid of them or negotiate with them.
I guess another really nice thing is that a little bit about the Northwest Mansion ties in with the finale, which I really liked.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Plus, it's actually just really cool to see what the mansion is like anyway. In that her entire family generational things being double crossing and terrible.
Yeah. And how she doesn't want to be like them.
And how she decided to actually be good to the townspeople.
All right, season 2.
We're talking way too much about this episode.
Yeah, well, it's one of the best.
Well, yeah, to be fair, it's one of the best. And
season 2, episode 11.
To talk way too much about
what he seems. That's definitely yes. That is.
I know. I was just putting it there so I can scroll.
It's not above Northwest, but
I think it is.
I think it's below. It's behind. Just because not what he seems was insane.
Okay, I absolutely love how these two episodes lead into each other as well.
With the whole.
With McGucket being like, dude, something's gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
And then because he figured out the laptop, he saw the countdown. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Whatever happened a while ago is gonna happen again.
I personally think not what he seems. Like, it was, not only was it really great, but especially when
this episode was legitimate. Well, I mean, first of all, these two episodes were legitimately beautiful.
Well, the only reason I think Northwest Mansion is better is because I love horror, but it's a personal preference.
This one's more of this one's more like a spy thing.
So
and similarly to the Mansion, it actually does the type of movie thing it's trying to pull off fantastically.
It does. It's so wonderful.
Like the countdowns and how Stan takes advantage of the reduced gravity. Like that scene gives me chills. Also, may I just say, even though Stan's been lying to them this whole time, the leaving that whole thing where Mabel has to make the last choice about whether or not to destroy everything he's worked for, that was great.
I personally think that, especially with Ford coming back, it would have been great if they animated some of his key points in his journey. But that's just me.
In his journey back to the Mystery Shack after escaping?
No, because like how he got the metal plate in his head, etc. And they have the whole thing in his journal.
Sorry, can you say this after the people in the background leave or be quiet?
Yeah, my bad. No, this room is right across from the bathroom. And I have a child. By child, I mean I have a little brother.
Joseph, I'm so happy for you.
No.
Is the Father God?
Alright, anyway, let's go episode 12.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk more. I mean, we've pretty much
we've been
doing this for a solid each other, except
we've been doing this for a solid hour. So, yeah. Tale of Two Stands.
Can I put this in S as well?
High A.
Okay, high A.
Very above into the bunker.
Yeah.
I don't think it's S, just because it doesn't really compare to the rest of them.
Yeah, it's not as much of a thriller as more of a backstory.
Yeah, which is why it's A, because it's really good. I just don't think it's that level,
Yeah. Once again, this is. May I just say a cool background detail regarding this episode, Dreamscapers and the Hand That Rocks the Mabel, is that they all have a consistent backstory with Stan going to jail in Colombia and then he ends up in debt to the goons that help him escape.
I think that was really funny.
I thought that was cool as well. But about this one, it's a great introduction to Ford. It's a great way to explain how Stan was so upset about the loss of Wax Stan. It's really good. basically. Dungeons, and more dungeons.
High B. Like
I think this is a high B. I'm gonna put it above Belfour. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's accurate. It was honestly, it was kind of just a way of like.
And this is about.
It just pretty much just introduced Ford's backstory pretty much as a more physical version of Dipper.
That, but this introduces Ford in the present. This is about his relationship with Dipper, and it leads into Mabel and Dipper versus the future, with how Ford and Dipper have pretty much paired up and isolated themselves from Mabel and Stan.
Well, to be fair, it makes sense why they would do that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Mabel and Stan are more laid back and manipulative and fun-loving.
They kind of suck, honestly. Well, Stan's one of my favorite characters.
Stan is my favorite character on the show.
I'd say the only person who tops that is Bill, just because I love Bill. For
Bill's
obvious
really
reasons.
good as well.
He's horrifying. And like I said, I love horror.
So I also just really like the idea of a board game becoming real.
Yeah. It's
well,
kind of
I know that's like a Jumanji thing, but for like a mystical game with wizards and stuff, I like that idea more than just a jungle, you know?
It's like, what was it? You know, a better version of video games coming to life. Alright. Anyway.
A better version of what?
Video games coming to life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not better than Fight Fighters, but...
Oh yeah, but Fight Fighters just go. Alright,
Fight Fighters goes hard.
Season 2, Episode 14. Let's go, baby.
The Stan
Churian candidate. Honestly, it's kind of C.
I think it's a C.
It's a high C. It's like above Headhunters.
I think it's a funny like political satire.
This is pretty much the only point that I like when I was saying earlier about how Gideon in jail kind of gives way to this stuff.
Yeah.
He
tries again to get out here, and then when that fails, he resorts to using Bill again.
I also really like how the Stan Churian candidate also shows how how pretty much everything Ford did really impacted the town.
Yeah. No, once again, well, I mean, obviously Society of the Blind Eye with Ford and Fiddleford, but in the Stan Churian candidate, like, I also just like how broken Stanley and Stanford's relationship is. Like, to the point where he's willing to let them just remote control Stan.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, whatever. Also, Tyler becoming mayor is great.
That was hilarious. Alright, Season 2, Episode 15. I don't like this episode.
Okay,
listen. I'd say
I'm
it's either
mixed on
it's
this
low
episode,
C.
okay, I like the whole thing with Dipper and Ford, but with Mabel, no.
I guess Mabel was more the prime center of this episode, which really annoyed me. Because it's once again Mabel going on a tirade and being like, oh, whatever I want is what I want.
It's about Mabel's self-esteem again.
Exactly. And then once she realizes it, instead of trying to settle it,
this is a worse Dipper versus Manuel. Yes.
Exactly. I mean, she was kind of like, oh, okay, you guys not only lied to me, you know,
oh, so you're saying I don't have to be? You're saying I don't have to be a perfect person? Okay.
Which is
okay. You know what? That's not terrible. But this episode did it much better, and for a character who actually deserved to have it happen.
Which is why I say the last Mabel corn is above Little Gift Shop of Horrors, but that's as far as it goes. There's still
Little Dipper.
Yeah.
You know, here I'm putting Little Dipper above Legend of Top of the
All right, come on, move it. Move past Mabel corn.
Roadside Attraction.
C.
Yeah,
honestly,
I think it's a C.
It just.
I mean, this episode doesn't really lead into anything. Except for...
It was kind of above Sock Opera, honestly. But
yeah.
It wasn't as good as Susan the Real Girl.
Like, okay. This one's like
it was just like a really weird way to give more attention to
Candy of all characters.
Yeah, Candy, and who not only wasn't important, it was also kind of a way to show Dipper's insecurities.
And you know what's nice for him in this? Someone actually it's nice for him to see that people actually like him. And by that I mean Candy, because Stan tells him to be a good actor for everyone else.
Yeah, that was pretty much the only nice part about this.
I do like watching.
It kind of shows, I also really like how it shows that Stan still wants to, help Dipper. He just doesn't really know how.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, just hack, which didn't really help, but he was trying, which I really like.
I like it. Well, once again, Stan is a horrible person. He doesn't kidnap anyone in this episode. I find it funny how he just destroys other people's stuff, though, in this one.
Yeah, that was really funny. Season 2, episode 17. S. All the way.
Okay, so here we go. This is the finale. I'm counting it as a 4-part because this one is directly related to the other 3, okay?
Yeah. It's kind of a pre-finale. Just the insane. It is S all the way. I'd say it's one of the highest S's.
This is one of the highest episodes. Like, legit, this... Okay, Ford is still worried about Bill. There's a rift. There's a huge threat with Bill. Dipper and Ford, once again, are isolating themselves from everyone else, except each other. And Mabel is the person the most hurt by this.
Which is dumb, because pretty much all Mabel has done, at least in my opinion, this entire series,
is
force Dipper to give up things he genuinely wants and cares about.
And also things he genuinely earned.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, I guess...
Which, okay, listen, the whole thing about Dipper abandoning... About Dipper deciding to come back with Mabel, I don't like that. But the rest of the episode more than makes up for it.
To be fair, I mean, they couldn't have done much if Dipper genuinely left. But, well, I don't really like that. I mean, it's honestly, once again, another reason, or another example, pretty much, of Mabel kind of being like the iron ball and chain that drags Dipper down.
Yeah, because Mabel is Dipper's foil throughout the series. Now, the only problem with that is the series doesn't treat it as if she's a horrible person.
Yeah. It also really shows kind of what Dipper versus manliness sort of did, of how Dipper, he's not just weak,
Yeah.
He's kind of a baby and sort of a loser.
Sure, he's smart, but that's not going to always save him.
Exactly, and then when he really needs to, he has the guts to pretty much stand up for himself.
Yeah, it's just his own insecurity that really we see this in Double Dipper as well. He is his own weakness when it comes to action, because he thinks that he can't do it.
All right, season 2, episode 18.
That being said, in non-action related scenarios, Mabel is his weakness.
Yeah. All right, season 2, episode 18. Weirdmageddon Part 1. High A, above Taylor.
Yeah, this is a good.
I don't think.
Dude, wow. Other than may I just say this show had a really good second half of the last season.
Yeah. Other than Dreamscapers, it's all season 2. All right, Weirdmageddon, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, we finally get to see not only what Bill is capable of, we pretty much get to see his entire mind in a way.
Yeah, which it wasn't like horrifying. It was just really weird, which is exactly why it's called Weirdmageddon.
I mean, that's what it should be. He's disturbed, but in a way that isn't like. He's not. Here's the thing: Bill is not completely insane. He's ridiculous. He's crazy. But he's not. But he has enough qualities to make him an endearing character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really like it. I really don't want to get too into Weirdmageddon, just because
I mean, we're gonna assume that everyone who watches this video, especially at this point, has already seen the show.
Yeah.
So we can talk about the fact that Dipper finally managed to convince Gideon that he has.
I like the Gideon's plot device, and the whole deal of like Gideon genuinely cares about Mabel.
Yeah, he's just really bad at showing it, to the point where he summoned the demon of the apocalypse upon the town.
Exactly. Another really cool
I mean, once
thing-
again, Mabel herself said that she likes Gideon, just not in a romantic way. She likes him as a friend. And he was the one who took it too far.
Yeah. What is it? Weirdmageddon. It was really interesting. I also like, once again, how it really shows the plot progression of
How everything
Dipper.
in the show has led up to this point.
Exactly. Let's go to the
Not a
next part.
single episode is wasted. Of course, there are the ones that are very, very minor,
Yeah.
but none of them are actually wasted completely.
Season 2, episode 19, Weirdmageddon Part 2. I think that is S, but below Dreamscapers.
Yeah, the Weirdmageddon trilogy is just a fantastic ending,
Yeah.
honestly. Now,
Um,
finally,
I'm glad
so
that
here's
they
the thing:
dragged
we
it
get
on too long.
this. Now we got to see Bill's mind in Weirdmageddon Part 1. Now we get to see Mabel's mind.
Yeah. Mabel, this is the point where I guess I really started to like Mabel more,
Yeah,
because she was, throughout like the entire series, kind of, exactly what we've been talking about. She's been annoying.
she's been problematic.
Exactly.
she-
She does whatever she wants, and then she drags Dipper down the process.
And she doesn't get
And-
repercussions for it.
Exactly. It really shows especially at the very end of Weirdmageddon Part 2, how it shows twice, because at the beginning she straight up replaces Dipper
Yeah.
with a version
No, once
that
again,
she likes
Dipper
more.
actually has to get her to care about her here, because he comes in and he's like, dude, listen, have you not thought about all I've done for you? And she's like, you know what? You're right. You're actually good.
But then she doesn't really do anything about it. The only point, I guess, another really big thing that it shows is that Dipper cares more about pretty much everyone than Mabel does. And that
Yeah.
really shows when Wendy comes down and sits next to him. It's like, dude, this place is awesome. I really care about
Yeah,
it.
and Dipper's
he-
still worried about what's going on in the real world. He does not want to stay here.
Exactly.
Not because it isn't awesome. He still thinks it's awesome. But he's
He-
legitimately worried about everyone else.
And I mean, he gives up on Wendy, which I'm pretty sure he genuinely believed was the real one. And then, lo and behold, it's not. It's Bill. It's Bill's mind creature, because it shows that, he
Oh,
cares
sorry, you
more.
said above Dreamscapers.
No, below. It's below.
Below. Sorry.
And just the only real point that I like Mabel's, I started to like, especially her character development, is that when he pulls out the scrapbook and literally shows her the insane amount of times that he has sacrificed practically everything.
And he finally, Mabel finally realizes,
Just how much he cares about her.
yeah, and how much of a hindrance she's been.
Exactly. All right. Season 2, episode 20, the finale. First one was Bill Mind.
Fantastic.
First was Bill Mind, then Mabel's Mind, and finally Stan's Mind. All right. No,
Again,
it's,
we've already
it
seen
is,
Stan's
it's above
Mind.
Not What He Seems. It is the best in the show. Put it above. Put it above Not What He Seems. Top.
Even above Northwest
Peak.
Mansion this week.
It's peak. It is literal peak.
No, I mean, I feel comfortable with this order. I think we can
Yeah.
agree. Whatever, we can all agree that these episodes are S.
Yeah. I still think we're.
You know what? Sorry, you want to know
Well, it's not
something
my
I find
favorite, it's the
hilarious?
best.
First of all, the Shacktron is badass. I like
Yeah.
that we get to see everyone cooperate.
It really brings, I guess, the full circle around. And why I said it's, first is Bill's Mind, Weirdmageddon Part 1, then Mabel's Mind, Weirdmageddon Part 2. Weirdmageddon Part 3 pretty much shows Stan. Honestly, to be honest, Dipper is like, don't get me wrong.
This is Stan centered.
Mabel has, like-
he's still scared of what's going on. It's like Stan wants to ditch this entire operation, but he's not willing to let everyone die. Like he's willing to sacrifice himself.
And I think it was really great how the whole Bill ritual doesn't
No,
work.
I find that hilarious.
because-
It was a big middle finger to the fans in a good way. it was just like, okay, you see this thing we foreshadowed the entire show? It's this super symbolic, meaningful thing. This isn't even gonna be how they beat him.
Yeah, and it's all because Stan refuses to let go of the grudge, which I think is great.
It's a great emphasis on his broken relationship with Ford.
And it's kind of honestly...
No, because both Stan and Ford are in the wrong here.
Yeah,
Ford
well,
didn't thank Stan for saving him, and Stan is just... So Stan is enraged by the fact that Ford didn't thank him. To the point where he lets it distract him.
I like how it really emphasizes just how close Stan and Mabel are, because Stan refused to let Ford go because Ford was his best friend. He didn't want to see,
yes.
he didn't
it's
want
like
to see his best friend.
It's a tie to Dipper not wanting to let Mabel go.
Well, yeah. But it also
one's
really
tragic
shows
because he actually lost the sibling for a while, and when he finally gets the sibling back, they just neglect them again.
Yeah. I guess the whole deal with Weirdmageddon is that the only reason I don't like it as much as I believe it could is because it shows Stan sacrificing everything for the people he loves.
Yes.
His entire mind is erased. My issue is that just how fast he recovered.
Yeah.
I think it really would have made a seriously big impact if Stan
if he stayed erased, that would legitimately be like one of the best hero sacrifices I've ever seen.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of like the whole deal of you're never a hero until you die, and I guess because I wouldn't have wanted to see Stan.
Also,
never remember. But I think it would have been better if throughout
if they tried to do what they did with
episodes,
McDuckett and have him eventually remember.
Yeah, I think it would have been a better if they had started showing in his memories, and as if he had not fully recovered, but recovered to the point that he
feels the same way about.
Yeah, he cared about that,
and he did when he was erased.
That would have been so much better.
I agree.
At the same point, then we wouldn't have seen Ford pulling out a gun on a random bus dude, and then Stan pulling out his brass knuckles. Which yes, did happen. He pulled a gun.
Yeah, I know. He was willing to shoot a man so Mabel could keep Waddles. I mean, that is, to be fair, that is the hilarious extreme of everyone being Mabel's servant.
No, I just think that they were honestly so dumb. After Weirdmageddon, they were like, "All right, buddy, listen, we're just gonna shoot you if you don't do it."
Yeah, maybe that as well.
I personally think that this tier list is perfect.
As far as ranking the episodes
Part 3 should have been above.
I hope you liked this.
Yep.
I know that we did.
Buy gold. All right.
Bye.
See you in our Bye.
Bye.
Can't talk. We can't talk.
Oh, I can't talk today. Quote Jeff the North. Yeah.
All right. Well, goodbye. I'm gonna go eat. I'm very hungry.
I'm gonna eat after this as well.